Hello guys, Spano here. So today I'm going to be making a quick tier list for Arknight after, I don't know, how long has the game been out? Probably for 2 months. So just going to make a quick tier list of what I think about the characters. Again, you don't need to take this tier list too serious. You can clear every single end game in the, in Enfield with any of your favorite units. But, if you don't want to waste your resources on characters that you don't think worth it, or you want to know the best meta units, then yeah, you can take this tier list a little bit serious. Of course, it's my tier list, so it's not going to be perfect, but if you enjoy it, leave a like and subscribe, and yeah, let's get into it, I guess. Starting with Ardelia. Boom, straight to S tier. I think we all know the reason. She's the best on center at the moment, best healer by far, not even close. You get her for free. Her weapon is also free. So yeah, she's literally a free unit. Everybody should build her. I think her best team right now is probably with Rosie. Rosie hyper carry or Rosie dual DPS, doesn't matter. She's really strong, especially if you have a copy of her like I do. Really, really strong, by the way. Pretty fun to use and pretty safe to use. And I think she kind of saved my ass back in the first Umbral Monument, where I think there was a stage that does poison damage. So having a healer was really, really nice. And again, she can also save you from a little bit of skill issue because of her skilling. Again, pretty cool unit. Everybody should build it. And yeah, pretty versatile too. You can put her on almost every single team because of her corrosion slash, physical. What is it called? Vulnerability, susceptibility. I don't know. I think at P1 she gets susceptibility for physical. Otherwise, she only applies corrosion, if I remember. So her base kit has corrosion, but if you get a copy, she also put physical vulnerability. So pretty good. Not vulnerability. It's like susceptibility. I don't know what it's called. I think it's like a vulnerability, but not really. Now for Ember. I think Ember is pretty good. I think Ember, A tier, I think it's perfect for her. The only reason Ember isn't higher on the tier is because you really don't have a reason to use guards at the moment, because Ember is all about keeping your team alive, and the thing is you don't need her because most of the end game is so easy to the point you don't need her. But she's really fun to use and she has the highest dagger in the game as of now, so on a premium, physical team, fun to use, but unfortunately you don't have a real reason to use her. And that's the reason she's A tier. But maybe in the future, if they add end games that are really hard, or they add a boss that really hits hard, maybe she will go up the tier, and a lot of things can change, Also, you don't need her weapon. Her thing is like not that important, but pretty fun unit, and probably has one of the best designs in the game. So sadly, I don't own her, but yeah, maybe in the future I'll get her and see how it goes. Admin. Now, Edmin, before Rossi's release, I would probably put her at A tier because he was kind of restrictive and he was only good at physical team. And even then, there are other units like Ember, Padapan, so you had options. But now, after Rossi, I think Edmin deserves to be at S tier. Especially with Rossi, really fun to play. Dual DPS with her. I mean, you can use any physical carry, but I think Edmin is the easiest one. Plus, he's free, so hey, use him. Also, you get his weapon for free from the Arsenal ticket shop if you get lucky. Like, I think on the release, you get MC's weapon from the Arsenal shop. I think the Grand Vision you get to buy. I bought it from the shop, so I remember it. I don't know when it's gonna come back, but if you keep a check on the chicken shop, you could get her weapon or his weapon. Pretty good in my opinion. So build your MCs, worth it. Pretty cool unit, pretty easy to use too. I think most of the physical units are pretty easy to use, especially admin with the crush, with the skill, and it's a pretty easy combo streak. So I think everybody should build their MCs. And moving on to Gilberta. I don't think I need to explain, right? I think everybody on their mom knows what Gilberta does. You literally, if you see any showcase with damage per screenshot, I think everybody was using a Gilberta regardless. Our best unit in the game so far. Best support slash amplifier. You can say whatever the hell you want. She just, all her kit does is amplify your damage. Especially ultimate does crazy amount of amplification. Combo does lift slash vulnerability with her skill, and her skill can also gather small enemies, so suck them in. So yeah, she does everything. She groups enemies, she does vulnerability, she amplifies your damage. All you need is another arch damage dealer, and you can trigger her combo. And I think she can also get 2-turn ultimate pretty easily, even with her signature. So yeah, strong unit. Everybody should have a Gilberta. And if you missed her, well, you're probably regretting right now. Probably. I'm not saying you are, but probably you're regretting right now. Leviathan is pretty simple. She's S tier. I know some people were like, why is she not S plus? The simple reason is she sucks at single target, and that's it. She is really bad at single target. I think her kit is generalized so much on AoE target to the point her single target damage is really falls off. Compared to a lot of new DPS or the current DPS like even Tung Tung, by the way, Tung Tung, Rosie, or even Yavan. I mean, Yavan is supposed to be like a single target monster, so she just struggles at AoE. I mean, she struggles at single target, and a lot of content, at least some of the Umbral Monument does have single target content, even though it's not hard for, level 2 to beat right now. Maybe in the upcoming batches, if they put a single target boss, she will struggle pretty hard, in my opinion, and she will fall off the first. The good thing is, she's pretty easy to build. Doesn't require her signature to work on maximum efficiency. She's also the easiest DPS in the game right now, so easy character to use, strong, clears mobs really well. I think Leviathan is gonna be fine as long as there's AoE content. She'll be fine. But if Enfield tried to focus more on single target damage, I think she will fall off a little bit. But I think at the moment she's solid as tier. Last ride, same thing, but super strong. Okay, I'm gonna put her and Yvonne straight off the back at the same time. I know some people will be like, Yvonne, I think Yvonne is technically better, but I think both of them are great. It's just both of them have their own specialty. Like Last Ride is good on AoE, while Yvonne is more like a single target nuker. Both of them love to have Gilberta. I mean, everybody likes to have Gilberta, to be honest. It's Gilberta. It's your pick, okay? You can pick whoever you want, whichever one you want. You won't go regret on it. I think both of them are incredibly strong. In my opinion, Last Ride is a little bit more required to have her Sig, because Last Ride Sig is really important to her, while Yvonne has some alternate option as long as you can obtain it, and she can run fine. Also, I think Yvonne kinda wants to have Tung Tung, especially when in her ultimate state. If she can combo it with Tung Tung ultimate, it's really, really nice, because you could cancel Yvonne's ultimate and you are stationary. So yeah, if you want to get full damage, having a Tung Tung on your team against high mobility enemies will be really, really nice. Again, like I said, you can have whoever you want. You can change the tier list however you want, to be honest. But Yvonne or Last Ride, you can build whoever you like. I think both of them work on their scenarios pretty well. Both of them also need cryo buffers. I think there's only one cryo buffer at the moment, but the cryo buffer works. Li Fang is going to be at top 8 here. Okay. Li Fang, the only problem with Li Fang right now is versatility. Li Fang is only good on one team, that is physical team. And outside that, he is kind of useless, sadly. Even though I love him a lot, he's one of my best invested unit right now. He is just not that versatile compared to some of the other physical units or have other physical debuffers. He's just stuck on physical teams, and unfortunately, you cannot use her with others. Even with Roxy, it's kind of hard to use him. You could use him with Roxy, but it's just there are others that are just better. They have just better synergy with Roxy. So unfortunately, Li Fang will be at A. It doesn't mean he's bad. It's just he's not versatile enough to be at higher tier than others. But if you have a physical team, I will say build him, use him with the physical team. He's really, really strong on physical team. But outside physical team, he will be struggling a little bit compared to the other units. Pog. S plus easily. I don't think I need to explain. Pog is really, really strong. Especially if you have a P1 Pog. Holy shit, P1 Pog, you will never run out of skill points, by the way. The amount of SP P1 Pog generated is disgusting, but it doesn't mean P0 Pog is weak, okay? P0 Pog is still super strong, it's just P1 Pog is just ridiculous because I have it and it's kind of dumb as hell how broken it is. You don't even need to skill, by the way, but you still want to do breach and everything, and it's still a strong unit. Pog's ultimate, we all know it groups up enemies, does a crazy amount of damage, and it also pairs up with other combos. Really, really strong. You can use him on a lot of teams, like mainly on physical teams, Roxy teams, and Shatter teams. You can use him on multiple teams if you want somebody to generate a skill, SP points. Really, really strong. Also, he's pretty mobile in exploration. Just a bonus, by the way. So if you have a Pog on your account, build him. Really, really fun unit. I don't think you'll go wrong with him. Roxy, the latest character and probably the most fun character I have played in Enfield so far. Really fun, really strong, really, really versatile. The amount of teams that Roxy goes in is disgusting. Also, Roxy Gilberta is giga broken. The amount of synergy these two have is ridiculous. And if they release another arts support that can also put vulnerability, GG, game over, by the way. I think then Roxy team will be even strong. I think Roxy hypercarry will be even more stronger than it is. Like Roxy's teams are broken, by the way. I'm just saying it's giga broken, and I love Roxy a lot because she's just fun. She's so fun to use, you know. And for Tang, they just keep on coming. I guess. I mean, his tongue is too strong. Like, you need to understand, this is supposed to be a sub DPS, by the way. And at the moment, she can rival main DPS levels of damage. Also, on release, Tang kind of crazy glitch, even though the glitch is not available right now. Tang is really strong. You want to use her on any ice team at the moment. She's also good as a main DPS with Jahi and everybody else. Is really strong. She's really good at AoE content. She's also really good with these two ice DPSs below. If you have a Tang, build. Also, the only problem with Tang, in my opinion, is her you need her signature. She just does not have any alternate option. That's the only problem with Tang, but I just don't think she should be on S tier. She's just way too strong to be on S tier. But at the same time, she can also go into multiple teams, outside ice teams. She is a little bit weak, but you can also pair her with Roxy. It's just dumb, but Roxy is just her, you know. I will say, comparing to the top three, she's probably the weakest, but at the same time, I don't think she should be S tier. She's just so strong. I have her, and I only have her at level 70, and the amount of damage she does to the mobs and the amount of cryo infliction she gives to last ride is kinda dumb to the point. I just don't want her to be on S tier. I just don't think. Also, you can also run her as a dual DPS with any of the ice DPS. It's really fun to use, in my opinion. Tang should not be underestimated, so just don't sleep on Tang and Roxy. I have seen a lot of doom posting on Roxy. So just don't do that. Catcher B tier, he's just not worth it. There is just other vanguards that are just better than him at skill point generation and does everything. Also, in Ice Team, his kit does not have any synergy with these two, so you don't even want him on Ice Team as a vanguard just because he's just that bad. Also, most of the Ice Teams does not need too many skill points to function, so yeah, Catcher is kind of useless. The only time you want to use Catcher is with Estella for the physical ice teams, right? With solidification in mind. But again, that team is not that strong to the point you could just use it. The only good thing about that team is Estella's nice and Catcher is just dog shit. So please don't build Catcher. Trust me, it's just not worth it in my opinion. Actually, Catcher should be on BC tier. I hate him. Even though I like his ultimate, like him summoning that freaking giant prehistoric fish is cool and all, but it's just not worth it. Arclight is bad. I'm genuinely sorry, but don't use Arclight. Even on an electric team, don't use Arclight. I love her design and everything, but genuinely, Arclight is not worth it. She cannot generate electrification and she consumes electrification. That's not worth it when you're running her on the electric team because you kind of want Avivan to trigger the electrification so she can get more damage. And it's just not worth it. Her skill generation isn't that crazy to the point you can just use her. So I'm sorry, cool design, fun character to use, but flashy and all, it's just not worth your investment or resources in my opinion. Avivan, fun DPS. Okay, the only reason Avivan is not on S tier is simple. She is a little bit hard to pilot. You need a lot of setup. Also, she needs Gilberta, but the problem is Gilberta is wanted by everybody and the other units are just better at using Gilberta and they're just easier to use. So yeah, also electric team is kind of weak. Okay, it's just weak. Trust me, it's not that strong. Cheng, S tier. The only reason Li Fang is in A tier is main reason is Cheng is this, and Cheng is a 5-star. So yeah, Cheng does everything Li Fang does, but better and faster and much easier. Also, Li Fang is kinda Ultraland most of the times, and it's not easy to get Li Fang's ultimate. It's like a 3-cycle ultimate, unless you have artificed your gear and everything. Then it's gonna be a 2-cycle, but it's just not worth it when you have Cheng. Cheng is just so much easier to use, and Cheng has some disgustingly strong weapon choices. So you can also abuse that. Also, you can do Cheng with whatever you want. You can run a main DPS Cheng, support Cheng. Cheng is just way more versatile. Also, Cheng can go into multiple teams compared to Li Fang is just stuck on physical teams. So yeah, Cheng wins. Cheng is S tier. Build your Chengs. Too strong. Panda is just Panda. Panda is just a physical DPS. If you want a physical DPS to fill your physical team, Panda is good. But like I said, Panda is kind of stuck between two teams right now. You either go with physical teams or you just go with double hyper carry team with Roxy. But like I said, I think admin is slightly better than Panda in that scenario. Also, admin is just easier to use than Panda. You kind of need to match Panda spice buff and everything. I mean, debuff and everything. But it's easy to use, but it's your preference. In my opinion, you can go with Panda or admin, but I think admin is much easier. Also, admin stick is stronger. Also, admin can also use the what is it, that weapon called Rapid Ascent? You know the chain signature? You can actually use that on admin to give more damage to Roxy. It's kind of strong. So yeah, I think admin is slightly better than Panda in that regards. Perlica. Now Perlica. Ooh, I don't know. I think Perlica is not. I think Perlica is, but I don't know. It's a hard choice. You need Perlica to run a lot of good teams. I think Perlica is. Like a Perlica is a toss-up. It's between A, high A, or S. Like she's just too versatile. Okay, I'm gonna put Perlica on S tier. I think I'm gonna get some hate for it, but I think Perlica is really, really strong. Currently, her strongest team is not Electric team. It's hyper carry Roxy teams. Yeah. Kind of ironic. The reason is simple. Perlica just easy to trigger compared to any other second arch damage dealer. You want to have an arch damage dealer so you can go into Roxy's combo and everything. The easiest ones are Perlica and Ardelia, but Perlica is much easier compared to Ardelia, where you need to kind of match her skill and everything so get maximum damage. While Perlica, you just drop in the combo ultimate when you have it, and you have a high stagger team that can literally break enemy fast, and you can set up Roxy so fast. She just mostly one-shot most of the end game at the moment. So pretty strong. Plus, like I said, if you want an electric team as of now, she's the only one that can apply electrification. So yeah, the rest of them only consume, like Advent and others consume. They do not generate electrification. So you kind of need Perlica for that. And I think she goes into multiple teams, even though her strongest team, like I said, is not electric team right now. Is Roxy team, just because Roxy is just her. I think I said it a lot of times. So pretty strong unit. I think you should build Perlica. I'm currently building my Perlica for my Roxy team, and it's working really well, not gonna lie. So Shine, B tier. Like I said, you just don't need a guard at the moment. The game does not allow to have guards, and that's the only reason, okay? If the game is harder, like if they put a boss that hits hard, maybe if Snowshine comes in. Also, the only team Snowshine was really strong was with the ice teams for the ice deck for last right. But after Tang, you don't even need her for that purpose. It's like, you need Snowshine. I think you can build her and use her on an ice team, but it's just not worth it when she's literally not needed. Maybe in the future, she might have some use, but at the moment, not really. Wolfguard is strong as hell. I don't know if he's S tier level at the moment. I mean, Levantine is it, Roxy. I'm gonna put Levantine. Wolfguard S tier. He has two teams. He's really strong. Yeah, let's put him S tier. I think Wolfguard deserves to be S tier. Okay, Levantine. I mean, what am I saying? Levantine. Wolfguard's strongest team right now is with Roxy and Levantine. He's mandatory for Levantine teams because he puts heat, and if you don't know Levantine, he leaves. What am I saying? Levantine consumes heat stacks to get more damage on, right? And Wolfguard's ultimate also consumes more heat to get more damage in. So pretty strong synergy with Levantine. On top of he's really good with Roxy, even though I don't like the team with Roxy because there are other teams that are slightly stronger. But I think Wolfguard, with the synergy he has with the heat teams, and if they add another heat DPS in the future, I don't think you will look behind on him. So at the moment, I think Wolfguard is a solid unit. He has more versatility, compared to someone like Li Fang. Also, he has pretty strong teams. Like, he has to be the guy, right? And I don't think Levantine works without Wolfguard. You kind of have to have Wolfguard, and so I'm just gonna put him there. I think I should put him at A tier, but I think with the team synergy he has, if I put him at A tier, I think I'm gonna do a little bit of a mishap with him. So I'm gonna put him at S tier for now. Maybe in the future, if they add another heat, applier, maybe I'll drop him down a little bit. Jahi, I don't think I need to explain. She's really strong. Ice Team's best debuffer doesn't have any competition at the moment. You can use her and Gilbert on the same team. The problem with Li Fang is Li Fang just has competition from Chung. Meanwhile, Jahi as a cryo susceptibility abilizer slash buffer, and she can also heal a little bit with her skill. She just doesn't have any competition. Also, it's kind of funny, but you can also run a cryo team with Roxy. That's like a nuke build. Really, really fun to use, but hard to play in my opinion. I tried it 2 or 3 times. I was missing a lot of combos. But it's a fun team. You can try it with Roxy. You can try it with Leviathan and Yovan. Like I said, the best team is with Leviathan and Yuan. I mean, why am I saying Leviathan? Last Ride and Yuan, best teams. But Roxy can also work. But like I said, it's kind of hard to play the team. The only reason she's S tier and Li Fang is not S tier is, like I said, Li Fang has competition while Jahi does not have a competition as of now. And I don't think she's going to get a competition for another 1 or 2 patches because there is no cryo debuffer for a while or an amplifier, because we already got Tang Tang, and Tang Tang is more like a debuffer slash sub DPS while Jahi is just pure amplifier. So yeah, just gonna put Jahi there. I think she's just strong, and some people sleep on her, but I don't think she's that weak. Akaguri, probably the best 4-star in the game by miles. Really, really strong. Again, the tier list is not by any order. I'm just putting them at the tiers where they're strong, and Akaguri is pretty strong. So Akaguri ultimate gives attack bonus, has the link effect, gets more damage, and put haste on an enemy with her combo. Pretty easy to trigger too. No big reason. Generates enough skill points for the teams that she needs to be in. Also, you can have a lot of strong teams. Like, she's really, really versatile compared to some of the characters on the S tier. Maybe like someone like Perlica that only goes in 2 teams. While she's probably going to go into 5 or 6 teams just because of how good she is. Currently, the strongest team is with Leviathan and with Roxy. But I think Leviathan team is slightly stronger than Roxy's because she has some drawbacks with the Roxy team. Because I think there are other units that just work better with Roxy compared to Akakuri. But I mean, for Leviathan team, she's like a must-have in my opinion. And now for Antal, I think Antal is an A tier, easy A tier unit. Strong amplifier. The only problem is there are other amplifiers, Gilberta, are just better at what he does and much more easier to use. I think Antal, if you build him, you're not gonna go wrong. I think the best team is with him is right now is with Roxy. No surprise. Gilbert. What am I saying? Gilberta. Leviathan and Avivana, but like I said, Avivana teams are a little bit harder to use because you need to set up properly to use with Avivan. But the Leviathan and Roxy team also need setup, so a little bit hard to use, but has one of the highest amplification with his ultimate. So yeah, pretty strong unit, but kind of hard to use. So as a normal player or as a casual, don't build him and just invest on others. In my opinion, is easier, but strong for sure. I'm gonna put both of these two together here. The only reason is Catcher is a guard, and I know you must have seen a flipping video of Catcher soloing the goddamn endgame with Umbral Monument and everything, but it's just you can do that with any character, okay? Okay, maybe not with any character, but most of the characters can carry the game even solo if you play good enough. It's just not worth it, not enough teams. Fluoride actually was pretty strong with last ride teams when the game dropped. But now there is Tang Tang, so there goes the one team. She was pretty strong in my opinion. And it's just not worth investing your pools, in my opinion, or your resources onto it. By the way, I have a build Fluoride just because she's gorgeous. Okay, I have a build Fluoride, but as a meta player, you should not build her. But if you like character by design, build her. You will never go wrong because I like her a lot and I built her. As well as A tier, by the way, pretty strong unit. She's the bridge between physical and ice teams, and she's fun actually. She is genuinely fun. I actually used her at the start of the game, even though I swapped it to full physical team because I got a Pog and Li Fang early, so hey-ho. But a strong team. And maybe in the future she can have a really, really fun gimmick with other teams. So don't sleep on Estella, by the way. She is much more useful than Arclight. Trust me, okay? Arclight is a bait. I got baited by Arclight so hard. I know that, right? So this is my current tier list for the Enfield. Pretty stacked S tier. I think the game is kind of balanced. You can use so many characters to clear endgame at the moment. That's why you see so many characters S tier. Again, like I said, you could argue putting Perlica at A tier, Wolfguard at A tier, Jahi at A tier just because they're not that versatile. But at the same time, you don't have alternate options for them. to their teams, while Li Fang actually has an alternate option in Chang that is technically better than him in certain cases, and in certain cases he's not, but it's up to your preference. But I think the top 4, the only person that can go down probably to the S plus is probably Tang Tang. Again, tier list can be subjected to change in the future, and even some of you will not be, happy with the way I made my tier list, but I think this is a pretty decent tier list. Tell me your opinion, and if you think somebody should move up or down the tier list, I will make another tier list next patch, and we can discuss on the change. So this is a final look at the tier list, and I hope you guys found this video helpful, and see you guys on another one. Have a great day, guys. Bye.